With 375 days left on the Brexit countdown clock, the UK and EU have reached a crucial breakthrough on how their economic ties will look like after March 29, 2019.
What we're presenting to you today here with David is a legal text, which constitutes, in my mind, decisive steps because we were able to agree on what will make up an international agreement for the ordered withdrawal of the UK.
The UK and EU have agreed on a 21-month transition period in which Britain will get to preserve benefits of being part of the bloc and negotiate trade deals, but will lose decision-making powers. Both sides have decided to retain rights for around 4.5 million citizens in the UK and EU during the transition period. The two have also agreed on the divorce bill the UK will have to pay the EU. Britain's Philip Hammond has put the figure at around $52 billion. A consensus was reached on a so-called backstop solution to avoid a hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic.
But it remains our intention to achieve a partnership that is so close as to not require specific measures in relation to Northern Ireland, and therefore we will engage in detail on all the scenarios set out in the joint report. We have also reached consensus on the full set of issues which need to be addressed in any solution in order to avoid a hard border, which is why last week we set out a work programme to tackle them.
News of the breakthrough deal sent the sterling soaring against both the euro and the dollar, strengthening almost 1% against the greenback. It also gave some respite to many businesses across the UK feeling anxious about the impact of a hard Brexit. But negotiators face more work in the coming months as they race to ratify the treaty towards a final agreement. Laila Humairah, TRT World.
Let's get more on this now with our editor-at-large, Craig Copetas, who joins me from Paris. Hello, Craig. Great to see you. How should we read this breakthrough? Is it a victory for Theresa May in terms of ensuring a smooth transition for companies after Brexit? Or is she going to face the wrath of the hardline Brexiteers in the Tory party?
The last time I looked, a UK passport said on the cover, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. With this default solution, I guess we can get rid of Northern Ireland there. And if anyone gets upset, they can still go to the European Court of Justice because Theresa May says that the Court of Justice will still hold sway in the UK, even though her Foreign Secretary, Boris Johnson, says any thought of that is, quote, claptrap. As our confusion is a word we have invented for an order which is not understood, and this is certainly not understood.
So, as you say, and as Berenberg Bank says, that it sees a 25% risk of a hard Brexit still, with Ireland remaining, Northern Ireland remaining the stumbling block. So this really could come back to haunt them further down the road then.
Oh, not only is it going to haunt them, it's not going to stop companies from leaving the UK. Look, today the pound jumps, the FTSE slumps. Why did the FTSE slump? Because about 75% of the FTSE's revenue is made overseas, and that revenue, shrinks when they bring it back to the UK. But there's something even more elemental here, as our lives are at stake. The UK Civil Aviation Authority just doesn't have the capacity to take over the functions of the European regulator. The British Parliamentary Committee has said this. They said it would take 5 to 10 years even to begin that process. So what's going to happen with all the planes flying overhead? There are very, very serious and life-concerning issues here that people are avoiding. If this is a deal, it's not a deal.
OK, even this so-called transition agreement is going to have to come up for a ratification this Friday at a summit of the EU 27. Is that a foregone conclusion, or could even that be a stumbling block?
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I think what we're seeing now is a bunch of bureaucrats slapping each other on the back for reaching, some sort of interim decision. But this 21-month period ending on the 31st of December 2020 is all well and good. But what happens to everyone who's in the UK after that? What if you have a child? A foreign couple has a child there. What if you have a job? I still think at some point, before Brexit becomes, official, there just has to be another vote in the UK, and I think the UK is going to have to come back in. This just gets more confusing and chaotic with each passing decision that comes out of Brussels.
And very quickly, Craig, some companies are already saying that they will need a second transition period after this 21-month period. This is really not going to happen, is it?
No, I can't see it happening. British citizens and European citizens of the 27 nations who arrived during that transition period are going to receive the same guarantees as those who arrived before the day of Brexit. But if you're a company, you don't think in those terms, and you certainly are thinking past 2020 if you're a company in the UK.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Craig Copetas in Paris. Thank you.